Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 4.0.1 is making its way through the PTU at the moment. It should be released onto the preview build in the near future, and then when CIG are happy, it will go full live and replace 3.24.3. There's a big focus on the Save Stanton Chapter 2 missions on that 4.0.1 patch at the moment, and CIG have put a load of fixes into that in the last few hours. I wanted to talk about what I'd like to see in 4.0.1 and the rest of the 4.0.x cycle. Also, things I think are relatively low-hanging fruit. So, stuff that I think CIG could actually put in for the most part. And these are my partly formed ideas and opinions, and I'd like to know if you agree or disagree with me, or if you've got alternatives, because I'm sure a lot of you will. It's one of the joys of Star Citizen's development that we can sort of all be involved in its iterations and wider feature discussions, and I'm certainly not right on everything, but I can tell you what I think at the moment, and my mind changes. My mind changes relatively regularly based on actually testing something out as well and actually having a bit more hands-on experience with it. But yeah, I just want to talk to you about things that I think need to be solved, want to be solved, things that I think would be great for the game in the short term. Obviously, all the egregious bugs to be solved. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? Just having 4.0.1 in the most playable state it can be. People sometimes can't complete missions or have spawning, traversal, cargo and shopping issues. I don't want any of that. CIG look like they're plowing through fixes for those though. But yeah, let me move around the verse. Let me not get stuck in trams. Missions need to be completable. Elevators need to work. Yeah, so just the essentials of the game, getting them all working properly. That's a must. I say must. It must be as best as it can be and not be steps backwards in Star Citizen's development. We don't want the stuff more broken than it was before. And if they're pushing towards playability this year, that's important. And with that in mind, stability and performance. Again, CIG look like they're getting Pyro a bit more refined since its 4.0 debut. More improvements here are always going to be good. I'm having the best time I've ever had with Star Citizen in regards to performance. That might be because I've upgraded my rig, but it also might be when I play Star Citizen, because I play in the mornings when servers are a bit quieter. They have moved over to the US servers for the current PTU tests. I do believe it was on more servers across the world before that, so that might also affect people in the short term. I'm hoping that CIG will fully migrate over to an optimized Vulkan later this year, or even just get Vulkan in a better state for 4.0.1. That should get the game in a much better stead in regards to sort of performance. But in the short term, any tweaks they can do for CPU and RAM improvements, which from my point of view is the biggest bottleneck for most players, that would be great. Also, as a side note, really interested to see how much Star Citizen and CIG are going to rely on DLSS and that sort of technology for frames and performance over actually optimizing the games themselves. And actually, on I say a side note, but I suppose it is part of this video, I'd like to see higher player counts where possible. I think it's 500 per shard at the moment. I'd like to get this to as close to 1,000 as possible. I think higher player density will make for a better MMO in the short term. Obviously, MMO needs players. More players in an area is better for the most part. You don't want, obviously, areas of huge congestion. I'm in the opinion that missions need a rework, especially when it comes to difficulty groups and rewards. So mission and rewards got fixed recently, but in the wrong way. So they now split rewards across a group. And that would be fine if there were better rewards, better group missions, specific rewards you get just for completing the mission that everyone gets. Also, I don't think CIG should split reputation, or at least split reputation as much. It should kind of be rewarded to all players in the group, not split, bam. I think a rework here, even just moving some values and adding some enemies could go a long way. Even just having more findable loot could make some of these missions more worthwhile to do as a group or multi-crew. So I've actually been thinking about this. They previously had the scalable missions as a thing, right? You went, oh, let's have scalable missions based on group size, and I think they decided against that. I'm actually more and more pro that now. I do kind of want there to be, especially in combat missions and stuff, you go, well, actually, if there's more of you or you're in a larger ship, there's going to be more threatening enemies because they detect you beforehand. It increases the danger rating of a mission maybe, and then you have more enemies spawn there, and then there's effectively more money to be made from taking those out and getting bounties on them, but also looting and stuff like that afterwards. I really want to encourage players to group and do multi-crew stuff where sensible, where possible, without them going, actually, no, it's just much more efficient if we all go solo and all go our own separate routes. And it's quite possible that CIG are waiting for engineering to come into the game before reworking some of this. I'm now expecting that to be a focus of Alpha 4.1 engineering, because this is also like life support, fire, and yeah, probably more focus on multi-crew ships, and then larger battles and missions, combat encounters can all make use of this. Anyway, even a minor rework and tweak of missions in 4.0.1 would be a good shout in my opinion. I just want missions to be available for groups of all sizes and you not have to faff around to find a mission. And with all of that in mind, more missions. I want more missions. We know CIG have the Safe Stanton Chapter 2 and Handyman missions in 4.0.1. Great. But I want to see more missions around Pyro and Stanton, not just different types, also different types. But yeah, more missions, more good. They've been locking them by area and that sort of stuff as well, which is great for filtering and just going, there's some cool missions here for you. They spawn there because you're there, whatever. But more variety is always going to be good for players getting content. And yeah, I want this all tied into a dynamic system in the future that is driven by what's going on in the verse. But until we have that, I just kind of want more. Mining updates. Again, I've talked about this recently. Mining needs a little bit of a rework. Refineries need tweaks. There isn't enough of them. They're over capacity a lot of the time. There's a lot of tweaks you can make to the mining gameplay to make it a bit better pretty easily. There isn't enough valuable ores in Pyro from what I've seen either to make it worth the risk of going there. A lot of suggestions I have aren't viable really until they have a more dynamic economy and materials start getting used in crafting and other processes. But some little number tweaks here could go a long way. And again, connected to this, economy improvements, although I sort of want general economy improvements. Really, I want the ability to fully trade between players and buy, sell, trade easily with players. That would have the most effect on the economy and then require CIG to work out where to go from there. That said, I know they want a player-influenced economy rather than a player-led economy. It's sort of like, what, 9 or 10 NPCs for every player, kind of a sim for the economy. In the short term, less faff and the ability to get items I want or know where to get them would be great in-game without having to go to external sources. Again, I'm reaching far beyond what 4.0.1 will be able to do, but I'm sort of talking about what I'd like to see. There's lots of tweaks and stuff they can make with the economy to make it more interesting, and they are doing that. They've also made it so some weapons and items you can only find and loot over actually getting in store. Actually, let's talk about this. So there were a variety of exploits and dramas with duping recently, lots of sort of discussion about this. Now, I'm going to tell you what I want from this. I want the ability to set a loadout for my ship and be able to, at time and cost, get that loadout back. Now, that can be weapons, items, that can be FPS stuff. As long as I can sort of list it, I should be able to get it back, as long as I pay for that. Now, some items might be unstockable or unavailable. And yeah, I should only be able to get a restock if they're available, or maybe only if I can set parameters for it. I might only be able to ensure certain things and not others. The thing with the duping drama is that it was sort of used for a variety of things that were unintended as well. And that's why it's sort of hotfixed and patched. Although they have hotfixed it and patched it both ways, I'm not sure entirely how this is all going to pan out for when 4.0.1 actually goes live. But I want to be able to restock weapons, get my items back, just not in an exploitative way. And I want to be able to buy like the NDBs and rare weapons, components and items from players. So some stuff that is not obtainable in in-game shops, I do want to be able to buy from players. And it's important the players can't dupe them if I'm able to buy them off them. Do you see what I mean? Any steps CIG are making towards a more open, easier to access economy, the better, in my opinion. But I do want some items to be harder to get, to have a lot more value, to be rarer. But if I'm willing to pay with a load of Alpha UBC to get something from somewhere else or someone else, I think I should be able to do that. Because I just go, okay, I've done loads of bounty missions and I want to buy this. I don't have a group to do this thing, so I'm not going to be able to get that item that's sort of locked behind doing it with a group or whatever, or a reputation payable. Okay, well, I can get that from buying it off another player. But I also want that system to be gamified and actually in-game properly, rather than, well, I can buy it, but I have to really faff around with organizing it. Also, item retrieval. This would be amazing. I'm talking about promo items, golden armor, silly things, stuff that you might have got at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, whatever. Probably mostly FPS gear. And this was planned to be part of item banks a while ago, but didn't make it in. Again, similarly to what I previously have been talking about, allow me to get that item back at time or cost or whatever. Maybe I've got to register it first or insure it, but I want to be able to get those items back. It is really annoying losing items, especially to bugs. And if you want people to actually use these golden weapons, golden armor, whatever, or you know, special items and that sort of stuff that look cool, well, you need a way of being able to get them back. Otherwise, they're just too volatile. No one's going to take them out ever. So yeah, that's sort of what I think for 4.0.1 and stuff I'd like to see in the very near future of the game. You'll notice I haven't gone crazy with any of the ideas there. It's a lot of stuff, for the most part, I think CIG can address in the short term. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Are there particular things that you would really, really want solved ASAP beyond bugs? I'm kind of talking about short-term feature improvements. Have I got anything terribly wrong there? Is there something that I should have elaborated on more? You're actually, yes, but more. Are you playing in 4.0.1? What is your experience of that in the latest patch? Do also want to say there's loads of other stuff that I want changed, but I think that this, as I said, is much more of viable things that CIG can do in the shorter term and things that they might address, at least some of it. Thank you so much for watching. You take care. Tell me what you think in the comments below. We haven't got an outro yet, Zin, for NordVPN for this month. Mm-hmm. So you should... Oh, what's that? It's 2025. I don't want someone stealing my keyboard, and neither do you. Also, you can click the links below to get NordVPN. Everyone can agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we decided on a ship giveaway?
Yes, we're giving away a Mirai Guardian.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting. A single-seater, powerful, heavy fighter. I do think the QI variant's better, but maybe you can upgrade it.
We're not
We're not giving away that one. Also, CIG have given this one. They've gone, you want a ship for a giveaway? You can give that one away. I've gone, cool. I'll have that. Well, I'll give it away. Also, click the join button under my videos to help support the channel further. Like, share, subscribe, do all that sort of jazz. Thanks for watching. Happy 2025. Happy New Year. Click the links, join the buttons, comment and subscribes, and all the other things.